Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we studied about the Mendel's experiment over P, the contrasting traits which he chosen for his studies, as well as the Punnett square method to find out the probability of the gametes genotype of the progeny. Now we will continue with the same to understand it more clearly, and we will study the laws of genetics by Mendel. We showed that the Punnett square shows parental tall capital T male and dwarf small t female. We used the symbols to denote the alleles dominant with capital and recessive with the small. Now, for the F2 generation, he selfed the F1 genotype capital T small t. Now, the F1 plant of the genotype produces gametes of capital T and small t in equal proportion. When fertilization takes place, the pollen grains of the genotype capital T have 50% chance to pollinate the eggs of the genotype capital T as well as of genotype small t. Also, the pollen grains of genotype small t have 50% chance of fertilizing the gametes of capital T as well as small t. As a result, random fertilization, the resultant zygotes can be of genotype capital T, capital T small t, or small t. From the Punnett square, it is easily seen that one fourth of the random fertilization lead to capital T, half to capital T small t, and again one fourth to small t. Though F1 have genotype capital T small t only, but the phenotypic character seen is tall. At F2, 3/4 of the plants were tall, where some of them are capital T and others capital T small t. Externally, it is not possible to distinguish between the plants with the genotypes capital T and capital T small t. Hence, within the genotypic pair of capital T small t, only one character capital T tall is expressed. Hence, the character T or tall is said to dominate over the other allele small t or dwarf character. It is thus due to this dominance of one character over the other that F1 were all tall, but in F2, 3/4 of the plants were tall. Genotypically, half are capital T small t and only 1/4 are capital T. But phenotypically, they all were tall. This leads to phenotypic ratio of 3/4 tall is to 1/4 capital T plus half capital T small t and 1/4 small t, that is the ratio 3 is to 1. But genotypic ratio 1 is to 2 is to 1. We can see here 1/4 is to 1/2 is to 1/4 will give you 1 is to 2 is to 1. Mathematically also it has been proved that the ratio gives the mathematical binomial expression ax plus by whole square. So both by Punnett square as well as mathematical equation, it was proved that the genotypic and phenotypic ratios for the monohybrid cross were 3:1 and 1:2:1. Mendel self-pollinated the F2 plants and found that dwarf F2 plants continued to generate dwarf plants in F3 and F4. He concluded that genotype of the dwarfs was homozygous. What do you think he would have got had he self-pollinated the tall F2 plants? From the preceding paragraphs, it is very clear that though the genotypic ratios can be calculated using mathematical probability by simply looking at the phenotype of the dominant trait, it is not possible to know the genetic composition. That is, for example, whether tall plant of F1 or F2 has capital T or capital T small t composition. It cannot be predicted by seeing the plants. Therefore, to determine the genotype of tall plant at F2, Mendel crossed the tall plant from F2 with the dwarf plant. This he called as a test cross. In a typical test cross, an organism, that is pea plant, is taken here, showing a dominant phenotype whose genotype is to be determined, is crossed with the recessive parent instead of self crossing. जैसे हमने F1 का सेल्फ क्रॉस किया था, यहाँ पर हम टेस्ट क्रॉस में सेल्फ क्रॉस ना करते हुए F1 की प्रोजेनी का रिसेसिव पेरेंट के साथ क्रॉस कराएंगे. This cross can be analyzed to predict the genotype of the test organism. Here we have taken the purple flowers and white flowers. Here the purple color is dominant over white. Now homozygous recessive is crossed with the plant of unknown phenotype, that is the test organism. If we get all the flowers violet, then the genotype of the flower will be homozygous dominant. But if we get half white and half purple, it shows that it consists both the genes, both the alleles, dominant and recessive. So the genotype will be heterozygous, capital W and small w, as shown in the right side. So with this type of cross, we can find out the genotype of the test organism. If all are similar to the test organism, then it is homozygous dominant plant. Based on these observations, monohybrid crosses, Mendel proposed two general rules to consolidate his understanding of inheritance in monohybrid crosses. Today, these rules are called principles or laws of inheritance. First law is law of dominance and second law is law of segregation. Let us study first law, law of dominance. It states that characters are controlled by discrete units called factors. Factors occur in pairs. In a dissimilar pair of factors, one member of the pair dominates over the other, which is recessive. The law of dominance is used to explain the expression of only one of the parental character in the monohybrid cross in F1 and the expression of both the characters in F2. It also explains the proportion of 3:1 obtained at the F2. This whole is the law of dominance. The 3 points you have to remember. That first is कि जो characters हैं वो discrete units control करती हैं, जिन units को उन्होंने factor कहा था. आज हम जानते हैं कि ये factor कुछ और नहीं पर gene है. Clear? Okay. The next is law of segregation. This law is based on the fact that the alleles do not show any blending because we didn't got the in-between genotypes. For example, medium height or pink purple flowers. Clear? So we don't have the blending of the two alleles. And also we can recover both the characters as it is in the F2 generation. जैसे कि हमने F1 में देखा सारे के सारे टॉल थे, ड्वार्फ था ही नहीं. लेकिन जैसे ही हमने F2 किया तो हमें F2 में पता चल गया कि सारे के सारे टॉल नहीं हैं, 3/4 टॉल है तो 1/4 हमें ड्वार्फ भी मिले. Though the parents contain two alleles during gamete formation, the factor or allele of a pair segregate from each other and gamete receives only one. Gamete में सिर्फ एक ही जाता है. Of course, homozygous parent produces all gametes which are similar, while heterozygous parents will produce gametes with the different alleles. One gamete will contain capital and the other will contain small, that is one with dominant and other with recessive. But in case of heterozygous, the gametes which will be produced will be of equal proportion, 50% with the dominant trait and 50% with the recessive trait. Incomplete dominance. When experiment on peas were repeated using other traits in other plants, it was found that sometimes the F1 had a phenotype that doesn't resemble either of the two parents. दैट इज़ इट वॉज इन बिटवीन द टू. जैसा हमने आगे बोला लॉ ऑफ डोमिनेंस में और लॉ ऑफ सेग्रीगेशन में कि ब्लेंडिंग नहीं देखी गई थी, लेकिन दूसरे प्लांट्स पर जब ये एक्सपेरिमेंट किया गया तो कुछ प्लांट्स में ऐसी ब्लेंडिंग देखी गई. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द इनहेरिटेंस ऑफ फ्लावर कलर इन द डॉग फ्लावर दैट इज द स्नैपड्रैगन और एंटीराइनम स्पीशीज is good example to understand this concept of incomplete dominance. In a cross between true breeding red flower and true breeding white flower, the F1 was pink. That is, red and white color mixed and pink color was obtained. We can see here in this cross, parent generation consists of red, capital R, white, small r, small r. The red will produce only one type of gamete, capital R. The white will produce only one type of gamete, small r. When the gametes fuse and we obtained F1 generation, what was observed? All were of the genotype capital R, small r, looking pink in color, which was not in the parent generation. When the F1 was self-pollinated, the F2 resulted in the following ratio: 1 red, 2 pink and 1 white. Here the genotype ratios were exactly as we would expect in any Mendelian monohybrid cross, but the phenotypic ratio has changed from 3:1 to 1:2:1. What happened? Was the R not completely dominant over small r? And this made it possible to distinguish capital R, small r as pink from capital red and small white. We can make it more clear with the Punnett square. When F1 generation was self, the gametes were capital R, small r, here also capital R, small r. Their combinations were written and we got 1 red, 2 pink and 1 white. So here, unlike monohybrid cross done by Mendel over peas, both the ratios are same. There we got the ratio 3:1 in phenotypic. Here we got 1:2:1 as a phenotypic ratio. Here we can see how the plant will look with the two kinds of flowers. Explanation of the concept of dominance. What exactly is dominance? Why are some alleles dominant and some recessive? To tackle these questions, we must understand what a gene does. Every gene, as you know by now, contains the information to express a particular trait. In a diploid organism, there are two copies of each gene, that is a pair of alleles. Now these two alleles need not always be identical, as in a heterozygote. One of them may be different due to some changes that it has undergone, which modifies the information that particular allele contains. Let's take an example of a gene that contains the information of producing an enzyme. Now there are two copies of this gene, two allelic forms. Let us assume that the normal allele produces normal enzyme and that is needed for the transformation of a substrate S. Theoretically, the modified allele could be responsible for production of normal or less efficient enzyme, a non-functional enzyme और no enzyme at all. यानी कि मॉडिफिकेशन एल के अंदर मॉडिफिकेशन से तीन पॉसिबिलिटीज़ हो सकती हैं कि उस एंजाइम का नॉर्मल या लेस काम करना, नॉन फंक्शनल हो जाना या फिर एंजाइम बन ही ना पाए. तीनों ही चीज़ें हो सकती हैं. इन द फर्स्ट केस द मॉडिफाइड एल इज़ इक्विवेलेंट टू द अनमॉडिफाइड एल. अगर वो नॉर्मल ही रहा तो वो बिल्कुल अनमॉडिफाइड एल की तरह ही रहेगा. That is, it will produce same phenotype or trait. That is the result in the transformation of substrate S. Such equivalent allele pairs are very common. But if the allele produces a non-functional enzyme or no enzyme, the phenotype may be affected. The phenotype or trait will only be dependent on the functioning of unmodified allele. The unmodified allele, which represents the original phenotype is dominant allele and the modified allele is generally the recessive allele. Hence, in the example above, the recessive trait is seen due to non-functional or because of no enzyme produced. Next is codominance. Till now, we are discussing crosses where the F1 resembled either of the two parents or was in between. But in case of codominance, the F1 generation resemble both the parents. A good example is different types of red blood cells that determine ABO blood grouping in human beings. That is, ABO blood groups are controlled by the gene I. हमने अभी अभी इनकम्प्लीट डोमिनेंस पढ़ा जिसमें एक एलेल जो है वो किसी मॉडिफिकेशन के कारण अपना पूरा प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं कर पाया और द रीज़न वाज पिंक कलर्ड फ्लावर्स. लेकिन यहाँ कोडोमिनेंस में दोनों ही पेरेंट के एलेल्स बराबरी से एक्सप्रेस करते हैं. यानी पहले जो हमने मोनोहाइब्रिड क्रॉस मेंडल का देखा कि एक डोमिनेंट हो जाता है तो दूसरे का एक्सप्रेशन दब जाता है, यहाँ ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. ABO ब्लड ग्रुपिंग में जो जीन आई है इट इज़ फॉर द ब्लड ग्रुपिंग. द प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ द रेड ब्लड सेल्स हैज़ sugar polymers that protrude from its surface and the kind of sugar is controlled by the gene. The gene I has 3 alleles IA, IB and small I. The alleles IA and IB produce a slightly different form of sugar while allele small I does not produce any of the sugar. Since humans are diploid organism, each possesses any two of these 3 alleles. Here, IA and IB are completely dominant over the small I. In other words, when IA and small I are present, only IA expresses, or when IB and small I are present, only IB expresses. But if IA and IB are present together, they both expresses their own types of sugar. This is because of codominance. Hence, red blood cells have both A and B type of sugar. Since there are 3 different alleles, there are 6 different types of blood groups. We can see here allele from parent 1, allele from parent 2, their combinations and possible 6 genotypes. Blood type will be, in the first case only A is expressed, so A. In the second both are expressed, so AB. And in the last none of the dominant, neither IA neither IB are present, hence it gives you O blood group. Actually this O is meant for zero dominant allele, hence O blood group. Do you realize the example of ABO blood grouping also provides a good example of multiple alleles? Here we can see that there are more than 2, that is 3 alleles governing the same character. Since in an individual only 2 alleles can be present, multiple alleles can be found only when population studies are made. Occasionally, a single gene product may produce more than one effect. For example, starch synthesis in pea seeds is controlled by one gene. It has 2 alleles, capital B and small b. Starch is synthesized effectively by capital B homozygotes, and therefore large starch grains are produced. In contrast, small b homozygotes have lesser efficiency and smaller starch grains are produced. After maturation of the seeds, the capital B seeds are round and small b are wrinkled. Heterozygous produce round seeds, so B seems to be the dominant allele. But the starch grains produced are intermediate size in capital B small b seeds. So if the starch grain size is considered as phenotype, then from an angle the alleles show incomplete dominance. Therefore, dominance is not an autonomous feature of a gene or the product that it has information for. It depends as much on the gene product and the production of particular phenotype from this product as it does on the particular phenotype that we choose to examine. in case more than one phenotype are influenced by the same gene. This was all about monohybrid cross. So, we have covered two topics of this chapter, Mendel's laws of inheritance and inheritance of one gene. In the next lecture, we will be studying about inheritance of two genes.